What is going on, guys? My name is Wheelman, and as usual, it's been a while. It's been quite a while. About 8 months, because I've been broke, and that computer has been broken. We'll get to that in a minute. But I'm back for the moment, and I figured I'd do a setup video. I'll try to keep this short and sweet as much as possible, because I know the setup videos can kind of get a little long, a little bit much. So we'll go with just a basic rundown. I have a setup video from a while ago. It's been a couple years, I think. And my setup hasn't changed that much. So I guess what we'll start with is the computer. So let me go down here and get a good shot. And by the way, I apologize for the audio quality in this video. Because I'm using my phone. I finally have a smartphone again. And the audio quality is not fantastic. Luckily, I can actually shoot 720p video, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so the story basically is I was on the computer, like I said, about 7-8 months ago, and Pepco, which is the power company around here, decided that it would be a fantastic idea to flicker the power on and off about 6 times in a day. And the first 2 or 3 times it happened, I was on the computer, and the power strip I use, which is there, it's not that one, it was in another one, it was plugged in and everything. I didn't know power strips were consumable. So, PSA, power strips are consumable. Replace them every couple of years. And every time there's a power surge or outage, it shortens the lifespan again. Apparently. So there you go. There's your tip of the day. Anyway, so it fried the power supply in my computer, fried the motherboard, fried my hard drive with all of the data on it. Luckily, all of the finished edited videos I had at the time were posted to YouTube already. I was still working on stuff and still had a bunch of data on there that was totally lost. And I actually have that other hard drive back. You can see I have parts laying around everywhere. This is it. This is the old hard drive, and it's a 2 terabyte drive. There, 2,000 gigs, which is 2 terabytes. And here's the old broken power supply. So lovely. Anyway, so onto the specs of the new gear. I went ahead and replaced it. So starting with the motherboard, because the motherboard needed replacement, I upgraded to a Gigabyte once again. It was a Gigabyte before. This one is a 970 dash. Let me take a look. The box is over here. Okay, 970A-UD3P. The UD stands for ultra durable, which is just the series, I believe. But it's a good motherboard. It was between this and an MSI that they had at Micro Center, and multiple people there recommended this one. So I know MSI is kind of known for their gaming stuff, but I was recommended the Gigabyte, and I went with the Gigabyte. And the Gigabyte motherboard I had before worked perfectly fine. You know, it wasn't its fault that it failed. It was obviously something unrelated. So far that's working well. I did have liquid cooling, and as you can see now, obviously now that's kind of the biggest change, is that's been replaced, or physically biggest change at least within the case. So I have an air cooler here. Now this is a Cooler Master Hyper T4, and it's got a fans pushing air up through the heatsink here and out the top of the case. And I also have 2 case fans now, whereas I only had one here at the back with the liquid cooling radiator on it. But that didn't physically fit in the case. That's the reason I kind of upgraded. Some people would say downgraded, I guess. But because I'm not overclocking in any way, I'm not overclocking anything in the computer, I don't really need liquid cooling. It was just a free upgrade when I bought the thing. But yeah, so I have that's a Corsair fan here and a Corsair fan here, and the models, shit, I have the box around here, so here they are. They're the SP120, which is the LED series. They came in a 2-pack. They got red LEDs. You know, what PC gamer doesn't love red LEDs? Or, you know, your colored choice of LEDs. So I've got one here in the front pulling air in, and an exhaust in the back that's drawing air off the heatsink and generally drawing air up, hopefully, up through the case. Same GPU as before. It's an AMD 7770 Radeon series graphics card. 1 gig of video RAM, and that's not that much for kind of modern games, I guess. I'll be upgrading that at some point, but I'm not going to focus too much on it right now because it runs what I need it to run at, like, you know, medium settings. Some things on high settings, like I run Skyrim on high, and with a high-res texture pack too, so it does pretty well, you know, for being an affordable graphics card. This is a Corsair CX600M modular power supply, 600 watt. I didn't really need the modular function at all. It's just kind of what they had. It's the same as the 600 non-modular, 600 watt power supply. Just with the option to plug in only what you need. I have everything plugged in here, so again, it'd be kind of the same thing. It's just an availability issue. Otherwise, it functions exactly the same. So this is new. The motherboard is new. This and the fans are new. Also new, if you can see here. I know that light is kind of blinding, but these two drives are new. So before I had that one Seagate 2TB drive. Now I'm working with a 2-drive system, which is much more ideal for what I'm doing. So my primary drive is this down here. This is an SSD. It's a 256 gigabyte Crucial brand SSD. And this is holding Windows and my games and editing program and most of my programs. This, which is empty right now, is a Western Digital Black Edition 1TB mechanical hard drive. And that's going to be my secondary, and that'll be where I record all of my raw, unedited footage too, and generally where I keep all my videos and pictures and documents and that sort of thing, so as not to clutter up the 256 gig SSD down here. And there'll be plenty of room for that. Other than that, everything's basically the same. I know my cable management down here is shitty. They did a pretty good job with this. But the RAM is the same. I don't know the brand. I know it's 8 gigs of RAM. It's fully usable, same as before. Everything in that regard is basically the same. And I'll throw the door here back on after I finish with the video. So moving up from that, everything else is roughly the same. I've got the same Razer headphones here, which I don't use that much, this headset. I only use it really when I'm recording live stuff so that I don't get audio bleed from the speakers into the microphone. Same capture card. This is a Fujitsu made diamond branded cap card that runs 720p from the 360, and I've got a copy of Casablanca sitting there because I think it's like the best movie ever made. So that runs from the 360 through the capture card with 0 latency into my TV. This is the same TV I was using before. It's Sylvania, Sylvania. I don't know. Sylvania. Yeah, there you go. I don't know the model number. I don't know if it even has a model number. I don't think it says anything on the back. But anyway, this is a 17-inch, I believe, and because I sit right here, that's much better than using that giant box over there. I haven't used that in years. I'll probably sell that. So this is where the 360 input goes, and then the original Xbox, but I don't really play that much anymore. I think the power cable's messed up on it. I will be buying some older consoles. Like I want to get like an NES and an SNES and Nintendo 64 and a GameCube and all the kind of Nintendo consoles that had awesome games on them but that I never owned. So I imagine when I grab those, I'll set them up somewhere and probably run them through here. My monitors again are the same. This is an AOC, I believe it's 20-inch, which is the smallest I could get for native 1080p resolution. And this is the same shitty Dell monitor. I don't remember what the model number or resolution is. It's really old. Probably would have trouble finding it. But I just kind of scavenged it from an old computer setup, and I use it as a second monitor so that when I'm gaming here, I can monitor a stream here, or I can move some of the pieces of Adobe Premiere over here to work with and make it a little bit easier as a workflow. Yeah, you get the idea. This is a shitty Logitech webcam that's going to be replaced. It works, it does its job, but that's about all it does. It doesn't do high def or anything like that. It's from many moons ago, and so it'll be replaced in probably not too long here, but for now it's good enough. Same Logitech mouse I was using. This is, I believe, a G500 gaming mouse, if I remember correctly. I picked this one, and again, I think I explained this in my last setup video. Same reasoning is that I have kind of big hands, and finding a mouse that actually fits my hand is difficult. This finger still gets off, goes off the side and kind of gets stuck underneath once in a while, which is annoying, but it's about the biggest mouse I could find, and the heaviest too, like a weighty mouse. The Razer mice, while I do like Razer products, as you can see, the Razer mice are all kind of light and hollow, and I didn't like that. So I've got the full weights in here. I think they're 4.5 grams each, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. So that's a nice weight for me. This mouse pad is a Wow Pad. I don't know. It was like $5 at Micro Center years and years ago. And what I like about it is that it's totally flat, so you can see there that it's not like a padded thing. It's just kind of peel and stick, static kind of stick, so it's easy to move around if I need to. Razer Blackwidow mechanical keyboard, totally standard, not backlit, not the turbo or professional or whatever version that doesn't have the number pad. I like the full deal. Blue Snowball microphone, got a pop filter now, which is nice because I subtle lisp a little bit, as you can hear, and especially if I'm being really loud, which I am a lot of the time. It kind of eliminates a bunch of annoying pop and stuff. Fizzy beverage, obviously, gotta have a stack of fizzy beverage. Computer speakers, I think, were different in the last setup video I did. These are Altec Lansing speakers, and I think the model number is on the back. Yeah, they're the, I don't know if you can see that, VS2320. I have no idea how much these cost or where one would be able to get them now, if at all, or what their equivalent would be if they're out of production, but I've had these for many, many years. I got them for the holidays when I was a kid, and I've just kept them and used them in various computer setups ever since, but they provide great sound. They're really easy to control, and it's just like a volume and a tone, and you can plug your headphones straight in here, so that's cool. Other than that, same weird semi-antique desk. This is really not an optimal computer desk, but it works. You know, it works for the setup I've got. I keep my 360 controller and my charge thing and headset in here, and I keep various assorted junk in here, chat pad, and screws, cable ties, battery packs, this thing for the mice, or the weights for the mouse, rather. All this sort of thing. VGA cable. I don't know why I keep this. I'm never going to use a VGA cable. Anyway. Yeah, the only other stuff I would say is over here, which is, this is kind of professional-ish set of studio monitors that were on sale at Guitar Center for like $40 or something like that, $30 a while ago. They're Audio-Technica ATH M45s, and they're really, really good headphones. And I don't use them for gaming or anything like that. Sometimes I'll use them if I'm recording music stuff, doing anything like that. But they're not really great to travel with. But they're cool. I just figured I might as well have a nice quality set of headphones. It's not just shitty earbuds. And just an extra power strip. So this was going to be the part where I smoothly transition over here and show you my box of games and whatever. And I did do that, and I just watched the video back. However, it's been a few weeks at least since I made that first part of the video, and some things have changed. So in the interest of keeping things brief, I'll try and go through them as best I can. All of this is the same, with the exception of just a couple things. Desktop background being the primary one. Fucking stoked for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. What else? My fucking Xbox headset broke, so I'm just using the Razers. I got a wired 360 controller finally on Amazon for PC games. I've been playing Remember Me with that. Finally got back around to that. This is the box of games. Just Cause 2 is out because I've been playing it recently, just kind of idly. Been relaxing with that. Bunch of games in here. I'm not going to go through them. It would take forever. Some old old games and cheat code guides and stuff in there. Real solid game, that one. I might stream that at some point if I can find it on PC somewhere, on Steam or something. I gotta see. I don't know if it's backwards compatible in the 360. If it is, it's getting streamed. Probably getting streamed regardless. All right. So what's changed primarily is this. Haha. So I have a guitar workbench now, which is awesome. I didn't have this before. I know it's not particularly gaming related, but let me back up so you guys can see. But this was there was just a bunch of junk here before, and basically a house around the corner. I guess some people moved out or something, and this was just kind of sitting out there with a sign on it that said free next to like an old crappy TV and stuff. I didn't want any of the other stuff. I got this, which is awesome because I've been looking for a space to work on guitars, which is also something that I'm teaching myself to do. I have some guitars here. I have a guitar here that I'm working on. It's going to be a Steampunk Flying V. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, just some assorted guitar stuff. I won't go too into that because it's not a guitar channel. It's a gaming channel. But yeah, so that's what's back here. And it just felt kind of, I don't know, disingenuous putting up a video where there's just a bunch of stuff here that has entirely changed over the last few weeks. The only other gaming stuff I would mention is this. So I interned at a video production company 2 days a week, and we were cleaning out the prop room about 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably about 3 weeks ago or so. And one of the props that they had was this. I just saw it sitting up on a shelf, and it was going to be thrown out. And I asked if I could take it, and they said we really could not care less. Go for it. And so this is mine now, and it's a Logitech. Let me see, Extreme 3D Pro X3D. I don't know. It's a joystick, and I don't really play any flight sims or anything like that. But I do occasionally play some Battlefield and stuff like that on PC, and especially with Battlefront coming out, and I'll be playing that. It's going to make it a lot easier to do to fly vehicles. I can drive fine with the keyboard and mouse. I mean, I think almost anyone can, and you know, walk around and shoot is plenty easy with keyboard and mouse. But flight controls, for some reason, I just can't seem to grasp. So this will make things a little easier, and who knows, maybe a little bit more immersive. I mean, it can't be anything but fun in an arcadey shooter to be able to grab a hold of a joystick and kind of run around or fly around and shoot some TIE fighters down or whatever. Anyway, so that's that. I just figured I'd update you guys on that. Given that this will likely cut off the end of the video, I guess I'll sign off here. If there are any other updates, I will let you guys know. I'll go ahead and overlay some of the computer spec and anything else I decide to in the video, so you'll have seen that. And other than that, I would like to thank everyone for watching, and have an awesome day.